My wife never wanted kids, then got pregnant after a suspicious solo trip home. Now I think her brother-in-law is the father and she refuses a DNA test. I'm 40 and my wife is 38. She was always adamant that we wouldn't have children. I wanted them but loved her more than the idea of becoming a father. We met when I was 20 and she was 18 and were married by the time I was 22. She came from a very privileged background and her parents did not approve of me. They are of the opinion that she married below her social station. A few months ago, she visited her parents and her father bought her a new car. Her parents have serious money and I trusted her, so it wasn't something that I questioned. Plus, she's always received gifts from her father over the years. Why would this one be any different? A couple of weeks ago, she told me that she was pregnant and I was ecstatic, happier than I've ever been. But it didn't last long. I got a call from a friend and he told me that he'd seen her with her brother-in-law, her sister's husband, while she was visiting her parents. She hadn't told me that she'd seen him. They've always had a weird dynamic that's made me uncomfortable, but I consoled myself with the view that she had chosen me. My friend sent me some pictures and it changed things. The images showed a couple that were very close. The image showed them gazing and holding each other. The intimate gestures of ones familiar with each other. Her gazing at home with a look that I had hoped was reserved for myself. His hands in her hair as he kissed her. Turns out it's more than likely he bought her the car. I confronted her about it, asked her what happened, but she lied. Told me she hadn't seen him. Told me that I should know the score between them. That she has to be civil. Very effing civil. I showed her the pictures and told her to leave. That was a week ago. Then I did the math in my head and realized the dates line up. There's a very real chance he might be the baby's father. Today I asked her for a DNA test, but she exploded at that. The thought of subjecting her baby to a test. But without one, I'll never accept this child as mine. This whole ordeal has made me reconsider my marriage. Not only that, but how honest she's been throughout it. How many of the gifts that she's received over the years have actually been from her father? Has she just spread her legs for any man that's bought her something nice? Have I quite literally married a whore? I've sent her sister the pictures. Not for any noble reason of thinking that she should know. I want to hurt my wife and brother-in-law, and that's the best way I know at the moment. On Monday, I think I'm going to talk to a lawyer and set the divorce proceedings in motion. Thank you for reading, and I'm sorry if this is a mess. My mental state isn't great, and I've had a lot to drink. Edit. Thanks for the support. I need her permission for a DNA test, and she's made it clear that she won't give it. The next step is I get a divorce and lose half my stuff. Infidelity doesn't matter as much to the UK courts. Best comments. Whether the kid is yours or not, you need to burn this sham of a marriage to the ground. Do not sign anything until the DNA test is conclusive. Demand via court order, if necessary, a DNA/paternity test before you even consider signing off on a birth certificate. There's no legitimate reason for you to get stuck paying child support for or raising a child that is not yours. It's one thing when the woman cheats, but when it's with her brother-in-law, that means she is on like evil level. Hopefully there's a place in hell for someone that betrays her husband and her sister. Don't sign anything until the results of the paternity test. It's great that you've sent the picture to your sister-in-law. Let her deal with your brother-in-law. And of course, divorce her and let's hope the baby is not yours, or else you're going to be attached to her for the rest of your life. Update number 1. 10 days later. I've not spoke to my wife in close to 10 days. She sent me some messages and left voicemails, but I haven't responded to any of them. I made my position clear with her. When she agrees to a DNA test, I'll talk to her, not before. I spent Christmas with a close friend, and he gave me some advice about what to do with my future. I used to row and box in my early 20s, and I plan to start doing that again. I'm also giving up alcohol for the foreseeable future. It doesn't do my mental state any good. I have an appointment with a lawyer and a therapist next week. I plan to get myself sorted mentally, emotionally, and legally so that I don't get F up in the coming months. I've spoken to my sister-in-law on a few occasions, and she's going down a similar route to me and filing for divorce in the new year. Her and my brother-in-law have a young daughter, so life's going to get quite complicated for them. If the baby turns out to be his, then they can have one really F up family. I'm jumping from wanting the baby to not. If it's mine, then I get to be a dad, but my life gets serious complicated. If it's someone else's, then I can be done with all of them and have a fresh start, but the thought that she'd have another man's child is profoundly depressing. If it's not my child, then I think I'll move somewhere else. Maybe apply for a work visa in America, transfer to one of the European branches of the company, or spend a few years living as a nomad traveling around the world. Haven't thought that far ahead yet, but I doubt I'll stay in the UK. If it is mine, then things will be much more complicated. I haven't told her about my plans for the future because at its current standpoint, she's not in them. That might change, but at its current standpoint, that's unlikely. If she agrees to a DNA test, then I'll provide another update, but at this point that seems quite unlikely. Best comments. You can get the DNA test done through court. Talk to your lawyer. What I plan to do, but I think you can only do that after the birth. That's close to 5 months in the future, assuming my math is right. It also exists prenatal DNA test, harmless for the kid and the mother. I don't know how in the UK works, but in some state, Europe included, if a baby is born in a marriage, the husband is considered the legal father by default. If you can present proof beforehand, you can prevent that. I need to check with my lawyer, but the UK is different. I won't be put on the birth certificate automatically, and if she wants maintenance from me, she need to prove paternity, especially as I'm raising doubt over it. I do plan to push for a DNA test through the courts if I have to, but if I'm forced to go that route, it will take a number of months. At this point, if she agrees to the DNA test and the child is biologically yours, your relationship is still basically tarnished from the situation. Good luck, man. I've been there. You'll get through it. Update number 2. 5 months and 15 days later. It's been almost 6 months since I posted anything, and quite a lot has changed for me in the last few months. I got a temporary transfer to one of the northern branches of my company. They say a change is as good, and in this instance it was. Working somewhere different was definitely what I needed, and it was nice to be somewhere where I wasn't reminded about my current situation. When I returned home, it really clicked how unhappy I've been in London. It's not a city that I enjoy living and working in, and I've made the decision to move. I did also have a short causal relationship with someone else, but it didn't really go anywhere. I thought some meaningless sex would help, and during the act it did, but afterwards I always felt guilty, so I stopped. My wife had the baby. She also agreed to a DNA test. I saw her, which was an experience. I haven't really spoken to her in the last 6 months, so the meeting was very awkward. Her parents have never really liked me, and the last few months have done nothing to improve their opinion of me. She kept on asking me if I could feel it while I held the baby. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I did feel something. I told her about my plans to move, and she was very much on board with that, insisting that it could be a fresh start for us. She maintained that she never had an affair. I don't know if I believe that bit. I have no evidence. I'm not certain that I want her to come with me. I did get the results from the test a few days ago, and it is my baby. She made her position clear. She wants us to be one family, one household. The thing is, I really don't know if that's what I want anymore. Truth be told, I have no clue what I want anymore. The main thing that I feel at the moment is confused and uncertain. Stay with her or leave her. I am in a lot of respects tied to her now through our son. It's something that I'm putting a lot of thought into before I decide. My therapist says that trust is everything in any relationship, and if you don't trust someone, then you can't have a real relationship with them. He also asked if I could trust her again or see myself being in a position where I could trust her again in the future. Both questions I don't know how to answer at the moment. I'm not looking for advice. I'm well aware of the echo chamber that is Reddit. I don't think I'll post another update as I don't see any point. Best comments. Even if she didn't sleep with him, if you can believe that, she most certainly did have an affair with him. You have photographic evidence of them kissing. That's cheating. And to be clear, adults don't get together to cheat just to kiss and cuddle. If they did those things publicly enough to be photographed doing it, what do you think they did while in private? If you can't trust her, then you can't be with her. You can still successfully co-parent with her, but you don't have to be with her.